Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's going to be a comic art auction highlights video. Normally, we cover this kind of stuff on the Original Art Hour Beyond show. Tony and I have been doing bi-weekly Monday nights. This past Monday night, we had a featured guest interview with Micah Spivak from Comic Connect and Metropolis Comics, and that pretty much took up the whole hour and change. And, so we've shifted the format of the show slightly for that one. But I did still continue to monitor the original comic art auction scene, both on Heritage Auctions and ComicLink over the last 2 weeks or so. So I pulled many of those highlights like I normally would. So I figured instead of letting all that effort go to waste, that I would come on and do a quick auction scene recap video only. And then once we do that, we'll get up out of here. So thank you for anybody who's watching this live or on the rewind. I was curious about the original comic art auction scene, auction results, sales prices, things like that. Please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and I appreciate you watching. So before we get into it, we're going to say a quick hello to the chat. We got Magic Lasso in the house. Good to see you, brother. We got Geeks and Drinks. Good to see you, man. And we got C. Woodard 19. What's up, Carson? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for stopping in, gents. Hope you guys had a good Friday. And everybody's going to be off to a good weekend here. So let's dive right in. The first set of auction results we're going to be looking at are the Heritage Auctions weekly comic and art round, which the comic art lots closed on Monday, May 3rd, 2021. So we're starting with the May 3rd Heritage Auctions results. So let me add those to the stream here, and let's see if we can go full screen on this. There we go. Let me get rid of this as well. So as you can see, we're starting with a Dick Ayers, Sergeant Fury, Silver Age Marvel page. Now, this page has, I believe, some historical significance with the Pearl Harbor depiction on there. You see December 7th, 1941. Not sure if there was anything else key about it, but it did go for a pretty healthy price here, $7,800 for a Sergeant Fury panel page from Sergeant Fury issue number 34. Of course, that's a Silver Age Marvel book that came out in 1963. Heritage that week, I believe, had a few different Dick Ayers Sergeant Fury pages, but this is the one that commanded the largest result, the strongest price, $7,800. Probably, I'm assuming that the Pearl Harbor depiction on there is pretty much the primary driver of that price. What's up, Knights of Old in the house? Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Congratulations on the new house that I heard about, or almost new house. So cheers to you. I hope all that goes smoothly and you have a great move and all that stuff. But there you go. There's the first result from the May 3rd Heritage Weekly results. So the second one was another Sergeant Fury page. This is also Dick Ayers, Sergeant Fury issue number 56, story page 19. As you can see, I kind of blacked out the top area above where it says sold on, because I was actually a bidder on this one. I'm a little embarrassed to show what my bid was. I think it was like $400, some $400 to $500. And clearly I did not win on this lot here, as it sold for $1,020, including the buyer's premium. But I like the content on the page and sort of what it represented as far as like African Americans and stuff like that. You also have a swastika on a Nazi soldier helmet right there depicted on the page. Oh, you're just still waiting on closing. All right. Well, good luck, dude. I'll hold off on the next congrats until you close. But what's up, Sean Richards in the house? Good to see you, brother. Welcome. So there you go. There's another Sergeant Fury page from Dick Ayers, sold May 3rd, on Heritage's Weekly. And then we had another Dick Ayers page. This one's from Sergeant Fury, issue 51, story page 4. And that one went for $9.60. A little bit weaker on the content front, except there is a Hitler on there, I believe. At least I think that's Hitler in the top left panel. I don't have the full description below in this screen grab, but was my closing smooth? I mean, here in New York, it was pretty smooth, but I mean, we have a whole different processes and stuff like that, I would imagine, compared to your situation. But if you want to offline about it, chat with me about it. I'm more than happy to do that if you want. So there you go. Well, we're kicking things off with 3 Sergeant Fury Dick Ayers pages from the May 3rd Heritage Weekly. Moving on, we're looking at this Richard Bennett and Steve Moncuse X-Men Unlimited #4 page, page 17. I think we had looked at one of these pages in a previous auction scene recap on the Art Hour show. So this is another one which featuring pretty large Mystique on there, and these pages are climbing, especially the ones that have, I guess, relatively striking half splash or 3/4 splash images. This one closed at $1,620, including the buyer's premium. Yo, what's up, Tony NY Jr. in the house, my partner in crime on the OA Hour Beyond. I gave him a heads up that I was going to try to squeeze this in. Because I did all this work. So I'm gonna see if we can bang through this super quickly, but we're 5 lots in. I did pick a nice chunk of lots to highlight over the last 2 weeks of comic art auctions on Heritage and ComicLink. So that I don't know how much more we need to talk about that one, but 90s X-Men art continues to increase. Yeah, exactly. Would love to get a 90s X-Men page. And I think a lot of us share those sentiments. Here's an interesting one. This sold for $432, including the buyer's premium. This is a complete 4-page story. Not familiar with the content. It looks like the name of the story is Happy Landing. But it's within a Golden Age book from Chesler Comics, Punch Comics issue number 13. Man, like $432 for a complete story from a Golden Age Chesler Punch Comics issue number 13. It sounds like a good deal to me. Then again, I know very little about the content and or who's collecting this kind of stuff, but pretty cool to look at nonetheless. We got Adam Braun in the house saying those unlimited pages are nice. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have this Dave Cockrum and Murphy Anderson Superboy page from Superboy 184. Story page 6. Hammer price on this was $3,120. Interesting 9 panel layout, not 7 panel layout on this page. Cool space work. I like the inks. I mean, I'm a big fan of Murphy Anderson's inks. I thought this was an interesting combination here on Superboy. Bronze Age page right here. So that one closed for $3,120, including the buyer's premium. Moving on to the next piece, if my computer will let me do it. Hold on one second. There we go. This one was pretty fun. This is a Gene Colan, Steve Leialoha, Howard the Duck, number 9, page 1 splash, and you've got Howard the Duck in some bubbles there. Now, I've never read this, so I don't really know what the story's about or anything like that. But as far as image on a splash, it's pretty cool. You do have Howard the Duck on there. It's, you have that whole Daily Bugle newspaper kind of way of or perspective on the image, which is, I guess there's pros and cons to that. But I thought this was a pretty cool page. And this one sold, and this is This is Bronze Age Gene Colan art. This sold for $4,920, including the buyer's premium. Next up, we have a little bit more of an affordable page here that sold for $432, including the buyer's premium on May 3rd. Yeah, that Howard the Duck was cool, right? Knights, for sure. Let's look at it one more time. See if I can go back. But yeah, there it is. But 4,920 buckaroos on that. But here's a Martian Manhunter splash page from Martian Manhunter Special #1. Artist on this is Mike Collins, and inker was Annabelle Rodriguez. Pretty cool Martian Manhunter image here, splash, and a pretty affordable price. So I thought that was pretty cool and worth showing as part of the highlights. Moving on to the next piece. I'm an Archie guy, and more specifically, I'm a Veronica guy. So I thought this one was pretty cool. This is, 60s Silver Age Dan DeCarlo Archie art from Archie's Girls, Betty and Veronica 150. This is the page 1 splash. And you've got Veronica laid out on a couch saying, "I wonder what the poor people are doing tonight," which I don't know if that really holds up. That line holds up nowadays or not, but still pretty cool to see this kind of a page on a splash featuring Veronica. Right. Yeah, right. You a Veronica guy? Adam Braun says he prefers Harry Lucy's artwork. What's up, Bake the Snake in the house? Yeah, I thought that Martian Manhunter was pretty cool for $430. Like, wasn't going to break the bank for most art collectors anyway. But pretty funny Veronica page here. Next up, I wanted to show this. Yeah, DeCarlo stuff is pretty hot. Good point, Adam Braun. This one was cool. This was a panel recreation from ASM number 40. Mike Esposito, Stan Goldberg. Esposito, of course, recreating in the style of Romita Sr. as he was the original inker over Romita Sr. on it. And this one sold for $1,440, including the buyer's premium. They colored it too, which is interesting. I think I have seen some Mike Esposito, Stan Goldberg colored recreations out there. Off the top of my head, I don't know the prices or anything like that. But yeah, I think this was a pretty cool, striking image, striking panel. And of course, you got Mike Esposito, who was involved in the original image on there. So that one sold for $1,440, including the buyer's premium on the May 3rd auction. And then next on the May 3rd auction, we have this Keith Giffen, Al Gordon, Justice League International, number 13, story page 10. This is Copper Age DC art. Pretty cool page featuring Batman, Flash, and others, I believe, on this. $2,280, I thought was a pretty strong result for that. But yeah, I don't know really what else I need to say about this. I'm not a huge Keith Giffen guy. I don't really have an example, I'm not super familiar with his work, but I have seen it kind of popping up a little bit more and more. So I am intrigued by his artwork, and I do like this page. Just like the look of this page and the content on this page. So, and I thought the price was pretty strong for a panel page. So wanted to highlight that one. Looks like Knights is a Giffen guy, Giffen fan. All right, moving on. This is interesting. So this is I guess, hot artist of the moment. I actually tried going after this one. Now I kind of have, I'm a little bit sort of burnt out on all these Pat Gleason, what are the, the ASM 55, like almost like negative space spider webby variant that they keep reprinting a bazillion times over and over in different colors. And now they keep kind of reusing that concept, and they're getting Pat Gleason on like a zillion variants, store variants, regular variants, etc. But I don't know. I'm getting a little tired of the Pat Gleason variant covers, but I like this page from Batman and Robin number 11. This is story page 18. Sold for $360, including the buyer's premium. But really cool image of Batman. Pretty cool image of Robin. Another close-up of the bat symbol on the chest. And then, like, I think a behind profile of Batman. Just a really cool Batman page. I didn't win it, but congrats to whoever did for $360. What's going on? Andy E's in the house. What's up? Of another original art hour alumni. I think he's just turned to the camera of the perspective in that last panel nights, but you know, the inks are original. Yeah, a lot are printed pencils. Got it. Yeah, that's a good call out. I think this was actually penciled and inked based on the actual description. It's not a blue line. Not a blue line page, according to the description. At least that's what I remember when I was following the auction. Tony's asking me if, yeah, I am kind of tired of that Pat Gleason AS. He's threatening to quit the show over it. Hey, you know what's funny though is I pre-ordered a 9.8 of that cover from Slabbed Heroes like forever ago, like 6 months ago or whatever, and it finally shipped. I think it finally shipped yesterday or something like that. So I'll actually have that ASM 55 Gleason cover in a 9.8, I believe, on the way to me in the next couple days. Maybe by Monday or something, I'll have it. But Andy E is saying that he had several pieces in the recent ComicLink, and he's pleased with the results overall. I did notice some of your pieces in there. I don't know if I pulled any of those for the highlights or not, Andy, but I do have ComicLink highlights coming up here in a bit. But okay, I'm forgiven. All right, let's move on from this Gleason page. This is a cool page, another one I lost out on, but the winner was able to snag this one for $504, including the buyer's premium. This is a Tom Greinberg and Bill Anderson, Superman 147, story page 9. Just love the Wonder Woman on that one. I mean, it's just a great Wonder Woman image. You also have Flash, Plastic Man in there. I mean, there's a great DC character page right here, and it only sold for $504. I mean, you know, late 90s. This is a 22-year-old page. You're right, cheap. Yeah, I mean, it feels cheap, or it just feels like a good deal for the content. All those characters, a great Wonder Woman. Just a really cool DC page. Yeah, I mean, I knew Lasso would dig this one. I mean, that's a great looking Wonder Woman right there. Kind of regret not being a little more aggressive on this one, but I did let it go. Yeah, definitely a great pinup, kind of like a half splash of Wonder Woman up there. But so much other cool stuff happening on this page as well. Great price. I'm not very familiar with the art market for Tom Greinberg and, like, you know, past sales and stuff like that. But this one caught my eye. As I was following this auction for the content and the price. So I wanted to share that one on the highlights. Okay, and then we've got this Dan Jurgens Superman 76 page that went for $3,000, including the buyer's premium, sold on May 3rd. This, I believe, is from a pretty popular post Death of Superman era, you know, early 90s DC Superman. Like, you know, everybody was on Superman at that point. This one went for $3K. This one's from, I believe the storyline is called Funeral for a Friend. So it's like a big Jurgens Superman storyline around that Death of Superman era. I mean, that's a really strong price, though. $3,000 for a Jurgens Superman panel page, 6-panel page, Nights with a WTF. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as saying WTF on this result, but it just kind of goes to show you how these popular storylines, specifically from the 90s, are really starting to pick up steam, even on the DC side. It seems a little bit, although not as crazy as the Marvel side, but you know, Jurgens is synonymous with that early 90s era of Superman. And you do have that cool Batman like statue in that top left top left panel on the page and whatnot. But yeah, interesting result. Is that baby a first? I don't know, man. We should probably ask D-Runk Comics about this. He's a big Dan Jurgens guys. I'm sure he would love to own this page in his collection, but to each his own. Moving on, we got this Tradmore. I mean, Tradmore has just exploded since Silver Surfer Black. He doesn't have a lot of his art out there in the marketplace. He's represented by Felix, and the demand far exceeds the available art. So now you have pages that probably sold for like $100 to $300 when they first were available, is my guess, from his indie series, The Strange Talent of Luther Strode, which Image Comics put out in 2011, 2012. So you just have kind of like regular story pages from this going for quite a bit here, as you can see with this page, page 9 from issue number 2 went for $1,200, including the buyer's premium. So as far as like new artists goes, and for an indie series, this is a pretty strong result. I think it's just the demand for Tradmore art has kind of really accelerated in the past year to 2 years. And there's so little art available. So when something like this pops up on the market, and I believe Heritage had another page as well from this book on the same auction, but I only chose to highlight one of them. But here it is, Tradmore, superstar, current modern artist that is very sought after right now by collectors. So that's an interesting one. This one's kind of just a funny one. I threw this in here for shits and giggles. This is a Star Wars #1 blank sketch cover, CGC 9.8 signature series, and it's an Ewok sketch by George Perez, and that one went for $198, including the buyer's premium. I was bidding on this, and I was hoping to win it for like $90 or something like that, but didn't happen. It got bid up to whatever the dollar amount was, and then it eventually sold for $198, including the buyer's premium here. So if you are the winner of that, congrats to you on having George Perez Ewok in your collection. Right? Yeah, right. I didn't win that cheap George Perez Ewok. Yub nub indeed. But hey, man, pretty cool for whoever did snag that one. Congrats. Pretty fun piece there. This one is fantastic. You have pretty much the entire Justice Society, not the entire Justice Society, the entire Legion of Superheroes sitting around the table there. So this is a Joe Staton page, inked by Murphy Anderson. Beautiful page. This is from Legion of Superheroes 245. This is story page number 1. This is late Bronze Age DC art from Joe Staton. And just so many superheroes in the Legion of Superheroes, all at one round table meeting. Just fantastic content, tons of characters. Really cool half splash page, $3,360. I think it was fantastic. On this, I don't remember, Knights. I don't think so. I don't think I won anything in the last 2 weeks at auction. Maybe one thing. But it may not be on these auctions that we're covering. I would have to go dig that up. But I don't think so. And whether I win something or not, I kind of tend to focus on the stuff that just piques my interest, regardless of whether I was an active bidder on it or not. Like this one, I would love to own this one, but I wasn't an active bidder on it. I was just following the results, But super awesome page. Love that page. Moving on to the next one. And again, we're still on Heritage May 3rd results here. This is Jim Lee, Richard Bennett, Wildcats, number 31, story page number 6. I think we covered a couple of these Jim Lee Wildcats pages for sale on Heritage as of late in some of the previous episodes. And I think the prices are remaining in a relatively consistent range of like 2K ish, 1,500 to 3K ish, depending upon the content on the page. So this one seemed like it was pretty consistent with recent results. I'm not really a big Wildcats guy. Well, yeah, it's early Jim Lee, like this is his Image stuff in the early, the mid 90s. I never really followed Wildcats and I never really got into it, so I don't know a ton about it, but I am just highlighting it here for anybody who is interested in it, that this is kind of the range that you can snag a Wildcats published page from Jim Lee as part of that run. Next up, we have another page. I think this is the second or third page from World's Finest 244 to come out on these Heritage Weeklies in recent weeks. Of course, I own a Garcia Lopez page from this issue. The last one we looked at, I think, went for nearly 2K, but it had, I think, better content than this page. My page I picked up for something around 800, but it, like I said, from a content perspective, this one kind of lands somewhere in the middle of those two pages, and the price does as well. So I think this price makes sense. Wildcats 1 through 6 or so feel like usual Jim Lee. You very well may be right about that, Knights. I don't know, because I honestly have not read it. So I it's just not my thing. I've never really had time to circle back to Wildcats. It's just something I missed, I guess, when I was around. Yeah, right. Garcia Lopez is just a boss, dude. Like I'm loving all these pages from World's Finest 244 that he penciled, that Murphy Anderson inked. There is a lot of Murphy Anderson inked stuff recently in Heritage. It's not just my recaps. I feel like it's like there's a lot of stuff that I'm not even including in my recaps that are inked by Anderson as of late, which I have also noticed. That is a good call out. All right, we'll move on quickly from this. I think this is the last one for the May 3rd results that I wanted to go over. And this is a painting by Paul Wenzel of course, Walt Disney and some of his most famous creations. I just love this painting. I think it was done in 1985. I don't believe it's a published thing or anything like that. It's just a phenomenal color piece, Disney related piece. Sold for $3,360, including the buyer's premium. I don't know. I just thought it was a cool piece. And if I remember correctly, it was quite a large piece from a, actual dimensions standpoint. Large painting, great for, displaying for any big Disney fan. I think this was a worthwhile pickup here. Yeah, right. Great Disney piece right here. Little jelly of whoever picked that up. Andy E. Later, brother. Have a good day at work. Appreciate you hanging out for a bit. Catch the rest on Rewind. Yeah, so that's, just a cool piece, cool Disney piece, something a little different for the last lot from that week. So now we are going to pick it up with the May 10th Heritage results. Just bear with me here as I get these up. Yeah, May 10th. There we go. Right. Share screen. All right. Let me know. You guys can see this. Yeah, that was a full painting night. It honestly did seem like a pretty good price to me. It was a large painting. I don't remember the dimensions off the top of my head, but it was a pretty large painting. Okay, so we are now covering, and just for posterity here, I'll put it up on the screen. This is the Heritage Weekly Comic and Art Auction art results closing that closed on Monday night of this week. So just a few days ago, Monday the 10th, these lots all closed on Heritage. And once again, we had several Dick Ayers Sergeant Fury lots. So I'll try to go through these a little bit quicker than I did the last time, but here's a page from Sergeant Fury, issue number 34, story page 17, Dick Ayers, John Tartaglione. This one closed for $5,760, including the buyer's premium. Nice and healthy price right there. This next one was from issue number 56, John Severin on inks over Dick Ayers. This one closed for $1,200, including the buyer's premium. And then the third Sergeant Fury result from this week was from issue number 51 with John Severin over Dick Ayers as well. And this one sold for $840, including the buyer's premium. Later Bake Snake says he's going to go grab some ribs. That sounds pretty damn good. Definitely going to grab some dinner after this. All right. So next up, we have another interesting sort of complete story from the Golden Age. I've been highlighting kind of one of these per auction. Knights is saying he'd love a Garcia Lopez page from the Hulk, Batman, Marvel, DC crossover he did. Yeah, that would be pretty freaking awesome, man. I'm with you there. That would be a dope art to have. Adam's saying that these pages are twice up too. They look great in person. I believe he's talking about the Sergeant Fury pages, the Dick Ayers pages. Yeah, those are all twice up era Silver Age pages. But here we have a Joe Beck and Otto Pepper's Punch Comics 15 complete 6-page story. This one had a much stronger result than the complete 4-page story from Punch 13. That one sold for $432. This one sold for $4,080. Now, once again, I can't speak much to the content. I mean, this one's got a boxing ring, and that is something that I kind of dig. I have some Joe Palooka stuff and whatnot in the collection, but yeah, just interesting to see what some of these Golden Age pieces or full stories are going for. Like the discrepancy in price is just all over the place. Like super on the low end, and this one feels a little bit on the higher end. But in the scheme of things, this is I don't know. This is almost 80 years old artwork here. Knights of Old saying he's eating hot tamales, candy, and he can't stop. That doesn't sound like a good habit. That's just going to destroy your teeth, man. Be careful. Be careful with those. All right, so let's move on. Here's another Richard Bennett and Steve Moncuse X-Men Unlimited number 4 page, story page 18. This one featuring another striking image of Rogue in that left, kind of left vertical half splash panel right here. You guys are talking about twice up pages and the sizing and stuff like that. Very cool. Another 90s X-Men, Richard Bennett, X-Men Unlimited page selling here on Heritage's Weekly. This one closed for $1,320, including a buyer's premium. Pretty gnarly image of Rogue there. Maybe not as strong as the one that sold maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago that had a pretty large image of Rogue, and I believe that had a stronger price on the hammer price, but yeah, still pretty interesting nonetheless. But we'll move on to the next one. Knights of Old saying that he thinks that there's too many auctions lately. Things are falling through the cracks because who can keep track? Dude, I mean, I have a pretty hard enough track just following Heritage each week, and there's a lot going on and outside of that as well. So, but anyway, here's a Mark Buckingham and Rodney Ramos Inc. Peter Parker Spider-Man, number 25, story page 26. This sold for $456, including the buyer's premium. Pretty kind of brutal page of Peter versus Goblin here in battle. So, man, it's I don't know. I thought this one was pretty awesome, actually. I'm not, I don't really associate Mark Buckingham in my head with Spider-Man necessarily, but I thought this was an intriguing looking page. Battle page going on here. We had a little bit, the 4 vertical panels extending the whole length of the page is, not for everyone. But I like the angle. I like the perspective. I like the grittiness of this page. It almost feels like a Batman page to me, but it's in Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm a fan of the vertical panels too, Lasso. I like them. I don't mind them. Adam was saying that Heritage has been ramping up sales and that they're getting a ton of items. That's right. He works in the comic department over there, I believe. So thank you for watching. I'm glad you're in the chat. Appreciate that support. We got Howard Chaykin, City of Tomorrow #6 cover art, DC Wildstorm 2005. I've been highlighting some of these kind of more random Howard Chaykin covers and indie covers that he's been doing that have been selling on here, just because I think the art is really cool, and he's a a legendary artist. A lot of the stuff or books I'm not familiar with or I haven't read, but I do think it's cool to get like published covers and stuff like that for under $1,000 with Howard Chaykin as the artist. Like, that's pretty sweet, man. Pretty sweet. Yep, no worries. And then, that Promise collection, I'm not going to be able to even like consider bidding on any of those. I'll be a watcher, I'll sit back and relax with a beer or something for that featured signature auction when the Promise collection books start rolling out. I mean, this collection has first Riddler and 9.6, like highest graded. Like it's unreal stuff. But if you're not familiar with it, just go on to Heritage, search Promise or Promise Collection, and it's insane. If you're into Golden Age comic books, anyway. Like if you're not into Golden Age comic books, not really gonna be for you. But all right, moving on to the next piece. This is a unpublished illustration, vampy illustration. Maybe my boy Tony will like this one. He's a big vampy guy. But Cliff Chiang drew this in 2008. This one sold for $720, including the buyer's premium. I'm a big Cliff Chiang fan, big fan of his work on Paper Girls and Wonder Woman. And I have, a few examples of his from Paper Girls and one other title in my collection. But I thought this was cool because I don't think I'd ever seen a kind of unpublished Cliff Chiang illustration sell on Heritage, at least not personally when I was following it. But yeah, I mean, pretty interesting. Oh, is this an homage? Because I'm not a Vampirella guy, so my expertise is very, very limited on this. Oh, after Nagel, okay. Well, thank you guys for pointing that out because I had no idea. Moving on, we got another Howard the Duck page. Gene Colan, Steve Leialoha, Howard the Duck #9, story page 13. This one sold for $1,800, including the buyer's premium. A little bit harder to see what's going on in this page compared to that splash from the previous week. I would take the splash from the previous week over this. Extra money notwithstanding, extra cost notwithstanding. I just thought that was a cooler page. But this does have a lot of like Howard the Duck, hijinks, I guess, going on the page. So, if you're a Howard the Duck fan, this might be a way to get, this looks like a more of an entry-level Gene Colan Howard the Duck page that somebody added to their collection for $1,800, including buyer's premium, or maybe a dealer scooped it up. Who knows? Next up, we got a Dick Dillon and another Murphy Anderson inked page. We got a lot of those, like I was saying earlier. Dick Dillon, Murphy Anderson, World's Finest Comics, #220, story page #2, sold for $1,320, including buyer's premium on the May 10th auction. Just more cool Batman and Superman, World's Finest stuff. Seeming to emerge lately on the Heritage Weekly auctions. We were looking at a lot of the Garcia Lopez ones from issue 244. Now we're looking at Dick Dillon, Murphy Anderson from issue 220. I dig all of these World's Finest from that era, the 70s. There's some great artists on that title. And this is no exception here. Moving to the next page, we got another Dick Dillon page. This one inked by Joe Giella from Justice League of America, JLA, issue number 77. 1969 DC Comics, so like late Silver Age, great green Arrow stuff on here. This one sold for $1,380, including the buyer's premium. Yeah, that World's Finest page just before was incredible. Yeah, I mean this JLA page is incredible too, man. These are some strong DC late Silver Age, early Bronze Age original comic art right here. I just love this page. It wouldn't really be something that I would go after for my collection because I'm not as big into these characters per se, but compared to Batman and Superman, but the art is great, and I just definitely thought it was worth highlighting here. So I did include it. And speaking of worth highlighting, another Dick Dillon page. This one's from JLA 69, story page 8, inked by Sid Green. This one sold for $1,140, including the buyer's premium. And you've got some awesome Batman and Flash panels going on here in multiple panel. Pretty much every panel except the last panel, you have Flash and Batman, Flash and Batman, Flash and Batman. So you get I think this one you get a lot of I got a lot of Batman and Flash bang for your buck on a late Silver Age DC JLA page here by Dick Dillon. So I like that page and I like that price, $1,140, including the buyer's premium. Moving to the next one on the recap, we got more Garcia Lopez. This is another page from World's Finest, issue number 244. This is story page 19. This one only sold for $456, and I'm kind of banging myself in the head a little bit that I didn't participate in this one to maybe try and snag this one for a deal, because you do have Batman on the page, you've got Superman in multiple panels, you've got Space panel in the bottom panel, you got kind of Batman and soldiers and stuff like that in that first panel. So there's a lot of positives, I think, on this panel. You got Superman in flight. This one only sold for $456. I think, like to Knight's point earlier, there's so many auctions, like stuff does kind of slip through the cracks or go a little bit under the radar compared to other things. And I think this Garcia Lopez Murphy Anderson page was an absolute straight up steal at $456, including the buyer's premium. So congrats to the buyer on that one. And next up, we have this Kano and Klaus Janson Action Comics 783 cover. So this is early 2000s DC Comics stuff, inked by Klaus Janson, sold for $1,140, including the buyer's premium on the Monday, May 10th Heritage Weekly. Moving to the next piece, we have another Jim Lee, Richard Bennett Wildcats page, like we've been following for the past couple of weeks. This one sold for $1,110, including the buyer's premium. Not as impressive to me compared to some of the other Jim Lee, Richard Bennett Wildcats stuff that has been popping up there as of late, but that's what it is, and that was what it sold for, $1,110, including the buyer's premium. Moving on to this one. This one's not a published piece. This is just a one-off illustration. Looks like it was done back in 2005 by Mike Mayhew, who's a fantastic artist. I mean, Mike Mayhew's prelims look like published covers, and then his actual published cover paintings are just mind-blowingly good, in my opinion, and probably a lot of other people's opinions. So Mike Mayhew, fantastic artist. But here's a pencil, non-published, I don't know if this was a convention sketch or something like that somebody is selling later on here, but this one sold for $384, including the buyer's premium. Just a gorgeous pencil illustration of Mystique by Mike Mayhew. So wanted to highlight that one. Here's a cool Spidey page, a Spidey MJ page from ASM issue 606. This is the splash page for page 22. So this is a pretty new page, about a decade old or so, maybe 12 years old. This one sold for $660, including the buyer's premium. And then I really love this illustration right here. This is a Don Newton's. They just titled it as Don Newton's Superhero Original Art Illustration. As you can see, there's a lot of both Marvel and DC comic book superhero characters depicted on this illustration. Almost has like a jam piece feel to it, but it's all one artist, I believe. It's all Don Newton, and it's estimated to be drawn in the 70s. But this one sold for $2,400, including the buyer's premium. This is definitely like a frame-worthy, wall-worthy style illustration piece right here. Big fan of this piece. Just super nice artwork right here. And then we have this Irv Novick and Murphy Anderson. More Murphy Anderson on inks, man. Murphy Anderson is all over my recaps right here. But Detective Comics 431, story page 11. Awesome Batman panels. Awesome car panels. Is that like a Corvette or something? Like, I mean, great vehicle illustrations here in those three panels. This one sold for $1,680, including the buyer's premium. From Irv Novick and Murphy Anderson, Tech 431 page. Pretty cool page. That's the kind of stuff I'm into, obviously, the Batman stuff, but love the art from this era of Tech. All right. And then I think this might be the last of this, or maybe there's a few more. No, there's a few more. We got George Perez and Romeo Tangal. This is a new Teen Titans page. This is from issue number 19. This one sold for $2,520, including the buyer's premium. I'm trying to speed this up, guys, just so I can get the ComicLink portion before this gets too long. Now we have a Sam Schwartz, Archie's Pals and Gals, number 20, original cover art. This is a pretty funny cover art right here with Betty and Veronica arm wrestling. And then Archie's like, I'll soon find out whom I'm taking to the prom. So, it's trimmed and cut in a weird way, but, this is the full image for the cover. I mean, that world's finest page. Later, geeks. Have a good one. So I thought this was interesting. This one sold for $3,240, including the buyer's premium. And the last piece, I believe, from the May 10th Heritage Weekly that I'm choosing to cover is this unpublished Bill Sienkiewicz, Daredevil and Elektra sketch or illustration. Kind of bare bones, but it is Bill Sienkiewicz. This one sold for $630, including the buyer's premium. I'm not sure which piece Adam's talking about. He's saying that one of these pieces had artwork on the back. Maybe he was talking about the Archie cover. Not 100% sure, but you can chime in with that with those details. So that's gonna do it for Heritage. Now I'm gonna start pulling up the recap that I put together for the ComicLink focused auction, which had their original art round close on Tuesday of this week. It was their art round closed Tuesday, May 11th. So I'm going to share a little bit of the results from their auction. So Adam is saying that the Schwartz had a flash sketch. Okay, got it. So that was the Archie, I believe, right? So here we go. And like I was going to do earlier, this is the ComicLink focused original art auction lots that closed on Tuesday, May 11th of this week. So just a couple days ago. And we're going to look at them starting now. And this is the first piece that I wanted to talk about that closed. This is a prelim. I mean, Frank Cho's prelims, often look like completed works. Obviously, the top half of this one is far more completed than the bottom half, but Frank Cho just draws gorgeous, gorgeous women. Not much else to say about this one except that it's beautiful, and it's Jennifer's Body #1 cover prelim, sold for $1,000 $355. The piece is only 6 inches by 13 inches, so a little bit of a smaller piece for Frank Cho, but it is a prelim. So that's that one. And then this Spider-Gwen number 24, J. Scott Campbell exclusive cover sold for $10,258. I mean, J. Scott Campbell. Adam's talking about the Frank Cho, saying that it's probably all ballpoint, and Frank Cho's known for a lot of his ballpoint artwork. But this is a more than $10,000 published variant cover from J. Scott Campbell. His artwork's getting up there in price, especially cover artwork, and you've got Spider-Gwen. I mean, it's a pretty strong combination here, but $10,258 was the hammer price on that on Tuesday. Then we had a pretty sweet Ron Lim splash page from Infinity Gauntlet number 5. This is the page 1 splash with a huge image of the Watcher on there. This inked by Joe Rubinstein. This one sold for $11,983. I mean, these 90s Marvel, especially any Infinity Gauntlet pages, from that event, are really spiking in price. And they can vary depending upon the content on the page, obviously, quite a bit. But this one's a pretty strong one. Almost $12,000 for this Ron Lim page, featuring the Watcher from Infinity Gauntlet number 5. This one was a cool cover. It was hard to take a picture that had the full image in it and that also gave you the price. So I did my best with this screen grab, but this is Judge Dredd number 1. This is the retail incentive variant wraparound cover, illustrated by Paul Hanley. I mean, you got like the Statue of Liberty on there. You got all sorts of vehicles piled up. You got animals. You got human characters. You got like an airplane or like a futuristic, Judge Dredd, flying vehicles and stuff like that. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff going on this artwork. I think it's very highly detailed. It's just a fantastic image, I thought. This one sold for $3,100 on ComicLink. Just pretty cool. I haven't seen much Paul Hanley stuff at auction that I remember anyway. What's up? Horrors hide in the house. No worries. There's always the rewind if you choose to check it out. But we're still going here for about probably 10 more minutes. So yeah, I just thought that was a cool image. Do not know much about Paul Hanley and his art, but this is a 28 by 22, wraparound 2-page cover. So pretty sweet right here. At least I thought so. Next, we have the King, Jack Kirby, on this Commandy number 38, page 17. This one sold for $2,955. Inked by Mike Royer. Commandy's probably one of the more, affordable is all relative, right? But as far as Kirby published artwork goes, Commandy is kind of like, an entry level opportunity, I guess, to own some Kirby published OA. And this was able to be won for less than $3,000 at auction. So pretty interesting to continue to follow these kind of results for Kirby and his Bronze Age DC stuff. Commandy being the most attainable, in my opinion. And the numbers pretty much show that as well. Convergence number 6, page 1 splash. This is Ed Bennis, and then a whole busload of inkers: Trevor Scott, Scott Hanna, Wayne Foucher. Just awesome DC, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Batman, a large splash, great image. Ed Bennis. Cover worthy splash image right here. Sold for $2,445 on the ComicLink focused auction that closed Tuesday of this week. And then we have this Flashpoint number 4 page. This is another splash, page 18 splash. This one has Flash, Thomas Wayne Batman, Captain Thunder, Taki Tawny, Cyborg, Enchantress, and Element Woman. A lot of characters on this. Is Andy Kubert. Yeah, that last one, that last Ed Bennis was definitely cover worthy, I thought. But this one's Andy Huber, Jesse Delperdang. But yeah, lots of characters on that. That one sold for $3,700. And that was, again, from Flashpoint issue number 4. Next up, we have this awesome illustration. I really thought that this was a super cool piece. This is Jerry Ordway, and it's JLA and some of their friends, is what the description says. This one sold for $1,400. I mean, it's just a pretty cool, like, old school JLA image from an old school DC JLA artist, Jerry Ordway. So this one was done in ink and watercolor on artboard. So just kind of a different piece. This is maybe my different pick of the auction. I kind of agree with Scott on this. That I don't know if he's talking about this piece or the last piece, but I thought this was a steal at $1,400. Jerry Ordway, I mean, he did it 42 years ago. It's an ink and watercolor piece. Definitely kind of a piece you can hang up, put on the wall. Lasso's saying that he likes that he reminds him of a back cover of a Treasury from the 70s. Totally could see that. But a pretty cool page, right? Or not page, illustration right here. Next up, we had another Infinity Gauntlet. I think we had multiple Infinity Gauntlets. Your moving pod has arrived. All right, well, good luck, brother. Good luck, Knights, man. Let me know how it goes, dude. Hope everything goes well in packing up and closing and all that. Have a good one, brother. But yeah, this one's another Infinity Gauntlet page. This one's from issue 3. This one's a George Perez Infinity Gauntlet page, and this one showcases Moon Knight on it. This one sold for $5,737. Inked by Joe Rubenstein. And like I said before, when I showed the Ron Lim splash from Infinity Gauntlet number 5, the pages from this event series are becoming more and more sought after. 90s X-Men art is hot. This is the biggest, Marvel event series that pretty much ever happened and influenced the whole first 3 phases of the MCU and, Infinity War, Endgame, all of it. It has such a correlation to pop culture. So these kind of pages are definitely growing in value. And this one sold for $5,737 on ComicLink on Tuesday night. This one was interesting because so this is a book I enjoy, written by Donny Cates and illustrated by Jeff Shaw. This is the cover to God Country issue number 2. It is a wraparound cover, so it's on 2 boards. But it essentially is only just a landscape. Like, the whole piece is just kind of an outdoor landscape, basically. I mean, there is a character on it, and you do see the sword, but it's not super prominent in the image. So you could look at this image and not realize that there's a character on it. And you could kind of just see it as a landscape and miss the character content on this image. And this one sold for $7,900. I feel like that's overpriced as well. I think maybe, I don't know, like, because I don't know what the God Country number 1 cover. I don't know if that ever came up at auction or anything like that. I feel like a lot of these were bought directly from Jeff Shaw through Felix, because I believe Felix represents Jeff, so he does all of Jeff's art drops and commissions and whatnot. So I would imagine the God Country artwork was released through Felix for, I'm guessing, less than $7,900, but but I don't know, because that's not an art drop that I was, actively looking out for or whatever. But it's kind of a smaller, double page, 15.5 by 10.5. But I wanted to include it because I thought it was interesting, and that price just seemed kind of, whoa, a little bit of a surprise on the price there. This one, I really like this image of Spidey. This is Ryan Stegman. Now, this is a Spider-Man print that he did, and this is the original artwork for that print. As part of the lot, they did include a copy of the print with the art, but this is the original art. Ryan Stegman. This one sold for $3,131. Just an awesome Spider-Man cover quality image right here that was used for a print, but this was the original art, and it sold at auction for over $3K from Stegman. I'm a big Stegman guy. I love his artwork, and have some examples of his artwork in my collection, and his market seems to be growing as well. Not a comic cover, but a Spider-Man cover quality image for sure here. And congrats to whoever added that to their collection. Pretty sweet one. A little bit jealous of that one. And then this one was interesting. This was a Sam Keith. This was like a very limited book. Like, I think the book was limited to 10 copies or something like that. But this was but Sam Keith did a remark on this one. So this is essentially a remarked illustration from a book or something like that. The description wasn't the best, I'll admit, because it says in the ComicLink comments, it says remarked 810, and then the title says Batman Secrets Gallery Edition book 8 of 10. Then it says Batman illustration, and then it says the art has an image area of 12 by 17. Well, was that what the size of the book was, 12 by 17, or? So a little bit vague, frankly, on this description, a little bit of a fail on ComicLink's end as far as describing this properly, but this sold for $856. If it was just a remark, then I guess I understand that price. If it was a standalone piece or something, then I don't necessarily understand the price, but I kind of threw this in here for for a little bit of commentary on having more details in the description if possible, just so people aren't as confused as to what it's. Okay, it's a treasury-sized book. I guess that makes sense. And then finally, this is the last piece from ComicLink focused from that lots closing Tuesday, May 11th of this week, just a couple of days ago, that I would like to highlight. And that's his Batman illustration by the late, great John Paul Leon, who passed away just about a week ago, I believe, something like that. So rest in peace, John Paul Leon. And there's been a huge outpouring of, kind of community support and awareness about that. And, he passed away from cancer, sadly, as have a lot of other comic artists who have left us too soon. But this illustration, the consigner specifically said that the sales proceeds would be donated to the cancer charity Powtown. So very, very nice gesture from that consigner. This one sold for $900, which, this is an 11 by 14 John Paul Leon Batman. I honestly expected it maybe to go for a little bit more, especially with the benefits going to a cancer charity, but I don't really know necessarily what's a good price or a bad price for his artwork. And we're now in that sort of post-passing of the artist, like reactionary stuff happens, I feel when that happens in the marketplace, whether it's for comic books or art. So there's a little bit of, I think, maybe price volatility around John Paul Leon right now, like in different extremes, like, really high or really low, because people aren't really sure maybe where to price his artwork necessarily right now. I don't know, but it is what it is. This one sold for $900 with 45 bids, and all of that money went towards the Powtown charity for cancer research and whatnot. So that is it, guys. That is the original comic art auction scene highlights, auction scene recap from Heritage and ComicLink over the past 2 weeks. If you're watching this on the rewind, please hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Do you want me to keep doing this as a standalone video? Do you want me to keep doing it every 2 weeks on the show I do with Tony and just save it for that? Because I still plan on doing it on that show, as a regular thing, but, I can spend more time on it by doing a separate show on it, but, then I actually have to put in the time to do the separate show. So there's pros and cons to it, but, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that rundown, from Heritage and ComicLink over the last 2 weeks. of some of the original art that was sold. That wasn't even close to all of the original art that was sold. That was just the stuff I felt like sharing based on the stuff I was following, or in some cases even bidding on, and did not win. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you on the next video.
Where do I begin? I see the hate, they don't wanna see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in. Top down, throw the money in the wind. I don't want it all. Heard this scammer had to switch up the accounts. Moving paper, gotta call it my account. It's all in, I can have it coming out. Been through the struggle, I can see another drought. Yeah, it's not a purse, it's a merch. 6 figures was a gold, now it's 9, no I heard, put it work. Used to pull up, not swerve, no time for the snakes, time to put them in the dirt, that's word. I gotta get it, it's in my DNA. You only see the highlights, don't know what it takes. Last year stressing, got no sleep. Now I'm right between the courts, I don't know bleed. I see the hate, they don't wanna see